Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the engine house. I haven't shot anything down here in a while because I've been busy making buildings. But anyway, this is what I've been doing. I've been working on this here. You can see where I stopped here. I've still got to go around, and I have to finish over there. But started this, and then I started the tunnel entrance over there. And I've done this, and I was okay with this, and I'm satisfied with it. But this over here turned out much better. Um, so, you know, this is where I need to. This is the kind of thing you get better as you go along. You do. I'm not discouraged. I'm not going to change anything over there. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to put some foliage here. I was using some moss that I have and making it the fall colors. This is also the foothills. This is where I'm currently working. You can see these are feet, and I have a coat of paint on them drying, and when I'm finished, they will look like this here. And then, of course, there'll be some ground cover and whatnot here and some foliage. I put some foliage around this. I need to ballast these. That's going to happen, but not right now. I have a dirt road up here. I'm not sure if that's going to stay or if I'm going to put a log cabin or something up there. We'll see. Or a shack. I have a shack kit that may go there. There's going to be some trees. Of course, there's going to be dragons. And of course, we have the foothills, which I'm working on. And over here, we will have the headwaters. And there are the heads. A little creepy, yes. And as you can see over here, it's kind of a disaster. I'll be doing more later with this upstairs where it's a little lighter. I'll be going over this. This is the thought here. Here's Granny and Reds, and I still have some detail work to do with that, and it's going over here. I have not yet decided what I'm going to do here. This is a divider. This is this side of the layout I've decided to call the mythical town of Castaway, Maine. It has a sea harbor here. There'll be a building here where this is currently setting. That will be Gruesome Cannery. And of course, Hansel and Gretel's Confectionaries, which is almost done. I need to do a little painting there. This is, for all intents and purposes, this is done. It's going to have a sign. It's going to have some more details. There's got to be more details, boxes, crates, things of that nature on the loading dock. I don't have those yet. But this spur here, this turnout here, I added a turnout to this, another manual. Hansel and Gretel's is going over here. There'll be a straight track that ends in here. And this will go there. And this will go off in that direction. And there'll be a couple more industries down there. Next up over here, there'll be a dairy. It'll be Green Pastures Dairy, named after, hi, Mouse. We don't often see you in a video. This is our other cat, Mouse. And she usually is camera shy. So anyway, there'll be a dairy over here, Green Pastures Dairy, and a nod to my grandfather, who passed away before I was even a year old. He had his own dairy at one time, delivery. So I'm going to have that over there. That's on that spur. And then we'll have some more industry and housing over there. And back in that corner, there'll be another hill and something on it. I'm not sure what yet is going to happen. There's going to be, this other line here, by the way, is a passenger line. There's going to be a station here somewhere, probably right in here. The other station I have is going to be right here. This bridge is coming out. It doesn't work here. No matter how I put it, the locomotive hits the bridge. So I'm going to be doing a wooden bridge using these over here, and I'll get it. That was a mouse. I'll get into these upstairs. I have 3 bundles of these, and one is upstairs. I don't run trains much because I've been busy with other things, mostly working on buildings, and scratch building something this size takes some time. I also need to add some more feeder wires to my line here, my main line. It'd make things run a lot smoother, as well as add some more feeders to this. There'll be buildings along there to block that. And then again, I'm not sure what to do here. This is Maine. This is another state. Because it's old scale, it's kind of hard to have a big enough layout where you can have, a town quite a distance away. And so this is kind of to make it seem like the train is actually going somewhere. And this will be a different state, different town over here. This is going to be mostly rural. This is going to be industry with some rural mixed in. It's kind of the plan right now. So anyway, I'm going to get set up upstairs and bring this up, and we'll start going over this. And then little by little, Mouse, you're as bad as your little sister, the shop kitty. Well, little by little, this is not going to be the main focus of my videos. It will be today, but this is mostly a background. I'm restoring it as I can, as I get, the time. But we're going to go over a few things on it I found interesting as I was taking it apart. So we will get set up upstairs, and we'll get back to it. Okay, we're set up upstairs. I know I've talked about this before, but we're going to go over it a little bit more, somewhat more detail here, okay? I'm going to start working on this. My half-sister, sent this home from Germany after the war, roughly 1947. Probably bought on the black market with cigarettes. My grandmother would take boxes of Tampax pads, leave the first 2 or 3 in the front where you'd normally open the box, open it from the back, take all the rest out, fill it full of cigarettes, seal it back up, and mail it over to Germany for my aunt. That was currency over there after the war. German industry was destroyed. There was no industry. You couldn't buy a loaf of bread with a wheelbarrow full of Deutschmarks, okay? That's just the way it was. So black market and things were the order of the day. My mother thought maybe this had been built before the war, but there are some indications to me that it was built shortly after. It was built because somebody needed to make a living, support their family. So they built this. And there's probably many others like it out there somewhere. Okay, I doubt very seriously this is the oldest one, the only one that's around. Now, like I said, there are some indications that this was also built with materials on hand. A craftsman who had access to the right type of wood, there would not be some of the stuff that's on this that leads me to believe this was made with what they had on hand. Mostly at the time, a lot of things the Allies troops brought over came in wooden crates, whether it was food, whether it was ammunition. They came in 2 metal ammo boxes to a wooden crate. The Germans did the same thing. The wood was relatively cheap, readily available. They would put it on a ship, on a pallet with a bunch of others, put it on a ship, send it over there for the war material. Wood, though that was laying around, it was readily available after the war. Everything just kind of got left behind. So the reason I say I believe this was built after the war, there's a few indications here that lead me to believe this. One is the quality of the wood that was used as the base. and I'll take this off. I have unscrewed this. The first thing that indicated to me was 2 of the screws that are used to hold this house down had been cut off. Probably 1/4 of an inch of each screw had been cut off in the back. Somebody with access to screws would not have done that. They used what they had on hand. That was what they had. They could not access anything else, so they just cut off the tips of the screws to keep them from protruding too far in or cracking the wood, and they used them. So one of the first things, I've already unscrewed this and had it off once before. I am going to turn this around and show you right here. Okay, this one is complete. It's a complete piece of wood. This one is 2 pieces. Again, a craftsman with access to lumber and wood would not do that. That would not be something they would do. You wouldn't find that today. This leads me again to believe this was built with materials on hand. And you look at the quality of the base. This is very rough wood. Matter of fact, you can see some drawing on it where they laid out where the house was going to sit. There was sand used for the grass and just painted green. There's a pine cone that sits here. That's a tree. It's painted green and was glued here. There's another one that was glued down here somewhere. I got to remember where it went. I'll find it. The first thing I have to do is clean this. This roof here was glued down in 4 places, and I don't know if I can show you. You can see the curve in that roof. Over the years, it wasn't glued down thoroughly enough. Hi, Shop Kitty. And it's warped. So I have to glue this down and put some weight on it. It's also missing a few shingles. The other thing, again, is you look at the base here. A craftsman with access to lumber proper probably would not have used 2 pieces. This is very cheap lumber. This is something that it built a crate out of to ship ammo or rations or something overseas in. It was disposable. Very, very cheap lumber. The other thing you see here is, this shed was an add-on. We'll get back to that here in a minute. I've got to figure out if I'm going to pop this off. It's right here. It's not completely glued down. The person who did this, again, had they had access to the proper lumber, this house sits right against the back. It hangs over a little bit. The roof line hangs over. Somebody with access to the right lumber would not have done that. They'd have made the base a little wider to compensate for that. Okay, so a lot of indications here. They didn't finish the door here, the window here. Possibility they didn't think it was going to be seen, or they just didn't have the material to finish what they wanted here. The back of the house is the same way. The craftsmanship is absolutely, for whoever did this at the time period, it's absolutely beautiful. When I took the house off, of course, it was full of sawdust in here. They didn't clean it up, put it on, screwed it down, left it. It needs a good cleaning. It's very dusty. My mother was 10 when she got this from Germany. She's now 87. Okay, I ended up with it about 8 years ago. She was going to sell it on eBay. I said, no, I want it. So she sent it to me. Some other indications here, again, that was wood used on hand. This is probably from painting the grass. They put the fence in and painted, but there's green paint in some spots here. I don't know what he used for stain, but I'm going to have to find something that matches, because I have some basswood that I can use to make the pickets. Another indication also is a lot of the pickets are not the same width here. Again, he used what was on hand and cut to fit and did, whatever. This is somebody who was building these to make a buck to feed his family, would be my guess. And Shop Kitty's chasing a shadow. Sweetie, you got to go. Come on, get down. I want to show a couple things here. Also, here, this is the glue is very old on this. This just fell off. This is a shutter on the side of the house. These will get glued back on. There's a lot of stones missing here. Old glue is going to have to come up. I'm going to have to figure out how to get that off without damaging the base here. And a lot of old glue. There's some porcelain figures. There's some wooden figures. It's kind of a mix. The person used whatever they had on hand. I know, Kitty. I know. One last thing I wanted to show you that, again, indicates to me this is built after the war. Is, again, I don't know where that noise is coming from, but I will find it. If you look in here, these in the windows, covering up the windows, believe it or not, came out of a cigarette pack. They are the lining in a cigarette pack. Okay, that's all they are. They didn't have window glass or whatnot, or they didn't have access to plexiglass, so they covered the windows with inside with tinfoil that came out of a cigarette pack. You also look here in the front, if I can get the camera here. There you go. There's two pieces here. Again, somebody with access to actual wood, this would have been one piece. You can see it's braced. The front's the same way. Okay, it's two pieces braced. The person used what they had on hand. There's some markings on some of this wood, partial letters in here on a piece that's covering one of the windows. And again, the backside isn't finished. It's painted with a big door and two windows, but that's it. The other thing I noticed when I took this off is there's a window right here. This shed covers up this window. The intention of the builder originally was probably not to put this shed on. They made the window, it's the same size as this, and then they decided, nope, I'm going to put a shed there, a lean-to against it instead. So there's no paint, no shutters. They did, in fact, though, put the tinfoil across the windows. So this is kind of my project over the next few months. This is not going to be something that I'm going to do in a hurry. This again, it's 78 years old, give or take. It's something I want to pass down later, and it's been moved. It's moved with my family since my mother was 10 years old. So this is quite delicate. As time is attested and slats have come off, slats have gone missing. I have a bunch in a bag downstairs. I have the pine cones that were the trees. I have most of the figures that were on it originally. I remember this thing when I was a kid. I was fascinated by it, and then I was more fascinated by it when I was told the story of how it came about. So this is why when my mother was threatening to put this on eBay and sell it, she was downsizing. I said, "Oh no! I want this." This is something that I really enjoyed, and of course, working with miniatures in railroading, it was just it was a logical thing. So I ended up with it. I'm very happy to have it. I have the chimney. There's a chimney that goes here. I have that in a bag downstairs. This is going to get a cleaning to start. Very delicate. Speaking of wood and porcelain figures, I just noticed this, so I'll show you. And there's a couple others like it. You can see the woman standing there with the cart, and she's a porcelain figure. If you look right behind it, there is a wooden carved figure right here, painted. It looks to be of a child. Hard to tell. It needs a good cleaning. My mother had this in a cabinet, glass cabinet, for years, and When I lived off grid, I had it when she sent it to me, and I had no place to really keep it from getting dusty. So there's a lot of dust. It's got to be cleaned, and then I can start restoring it. So anyway, this is kind of what I wanted to show you and kind of go into this in a little more in depth. And I believe, again, that this was made shortly after the war ended by somebody who had been possibly a craftsman in his own right before the war and needed to do something to feed his family. So he started building these. And again, I'm pretty sure this is not the only one. There's probably others out there they could be in Germany, they could be in the States. Who knows? Who knows? I'm very happy to have this. So anyway, we're going to get started. First thing I'm going to do is clean it and then look it over. And again, this will kind of be in the background. I'll show what I'm doing to it little by little, but I'm not going to actually be working on it on camera. I'm going to be just doing some stuff. I'll show you what I've done. I'm concentrating right now more on the layout itself. As you saw in the beginning of this video, I haven't done anything with it. I've been so busy with other things and doctor's appointments and you name it. I haven't really had a chance to work on the layout itself. And I wanted to get some of that done, some of the scenery done before I go back to any buildings. So I'm going to be concentrating on that. There'll be some videos of that. This will be in the background. This will mostly be staying down in the engine house. So you'll see it as I'm working on it. So anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. And once again, if you enjoyed it, please like it, subscribe, and comment. I'm always open for comments. I like comments. I'm learning this mess. I haven't been in model railroading in years, and I'll definitely be learning this. Something I'm a little apprehensive of taking on, but it needs to be done. I've tried to find places that restore doll houses that would do it. They won't touch it. For whatever reason, they won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. And so it's either got to be me or it's going to be lost. And we don't want to see that happen. This is a piece of history right here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. From me and the Shop Kitty here, have a great day and bye for now.